Chechens are Northeast Caucasian ethnic group of the Nakh peoples originating in the North Caucasus, located between the Black and Caspian Seas. They refer to themselves as Nokhchiy, pronounced Nokhchiy, singular Nokhchi, Nakhchuo or Nakhtche. Chechen and Ingush peoples are collectively known as the Vainakh, which means our people in Chechen language. The majority of Chechens today live in Chechen Republic, a subdivision of the Russian Federation. Chechens are mostly Muslims. According to popular tradition, the Russian term Chechen comes from central Chechnya, which has several important villages named Chechen. The word Chechen occurs in Russian sources as early as 1680, and the etymology is most likely of Nakh in origin. It originates in the word che, which means inside, added with the suffix chan, and can be roughly translated to inside territory. The villages and towns named Chechen were always situated in the Chechen area. The Chechens are one of the Nakh people who have lived in the highlands of North Caucasus region since prehistory. There is archaeological evidence of historical continuity dating back since 3000 BC, as well as evidence pointing to their ancestors' migration from the Fertile Crescent c. 10,000 8000 BC. In the Middle Ages, the lowland of Chechnya was dominated by the Khazars and the Alans. Local culture was also subject to Georgian influence, and some Chechens converted to Eastern Orthodox Christianity. With a presence dating back to the 7th century, Islam gradually spread among the Chechens, although the Chechens' own pagan religion was still strong until the 19th century. Society was organized along feudal lines. Chechnya was devastated by the Mongol invasions of the 13th century and those of Tamerlane in the 14th. The Vainakh bear the distinction of being one of the few peoples to successfully resist the Mongols and defend themselves against their invasions, not once, but twice, though this came at great cost to them, as their state was utterly destroyed. These events were key in the shaping of the Chechen nationhood and their martial-oriented and clan-based society. In the late 80th and 90th centuries, Russia embarked on full-scale conquest of the North Caucasus in the Caucasian War. Much of the campaign was led by General Yermolov, who particularly dislikes the Chechens, describing them as a blood and bold and dangerous people. Angered by Chechen raids, Yermolov resorted to a brutal policy of scorched earth and deportations. He also founded the fort of Grozny, now the capital of Chechnya, in 1990s. Chechen resistance to Russian rule reached its peak under the leadership of the Dagestani leader Imam Shamil. The Chechens were finally defeated in 1861 after a bloody war that lasted for decades, during which they lost most of their entire population. In the aftermath, large numbers of refugees also immigrated or were forcibly deported to the Ottoman Empire. Since then, there have been various Chechen rebellions against Russian Soviet power in 1865, 66, 1877, including during the Russian Civil War and World War II, as well as nonviolent resistance to Russification and the Soviet Union's collectivization and anti-religion campaigns. In 1944, all Chechens, together with several other people of the Caucasus, were ordered by the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin to be ruthlessly deported en masse to the Kazakh and Kyrgyz SSRs, and their republic and nation were abolished. At least one quarter and perhaps half of the entire Chechen population perished in the process, and a severe blow was made to their culture and historical record. Though rehabilitated in 1956 and allowed to return to the next year, the survivors lost economic resources and civil rights, and under both Soviet and post-Soviet governments they have been the object of both official and unofficial discrimination and discriminatory public discourse. Chechen attempts to regain independence in the 1990s after the fall of the Soviet Union have led to the First and the Second War with the new Russian state starting in 1994. The main language of Chechen people is Chechen. Chechen belongs to the family of Nakh languages, Northeast Caucasian languages. Literary Chechen is based on the central lowland dialect. Other related languages include Ingush, which has speakers in the neighboring Ingushetia, and Batspi, which is the language of the people in the adjoining part of Georgia. At various times In their history, Chechens used Georgian Arabic and Latin alphabets. As of 2008, the official script is Russian Cyrillic. Most Chechens living in their homeland can understand English with ease. The two languages are not truly mutually intelligible, but it's easy for Chechens to learn how to understand the English language and vice versa over time after hearing it for a while.